Well, I was on the Recreation Grounds Committee of Loxton for many years, and it gave me a bit of an insight into how things worked. And then I had the time, and I thought I had something to contribute.
I considered it was time for payback for a community that I loved and my kids were raised up in for the past 50 years. So it was an opportunity to give something back to the council.
Well, I was always interested in local government, and when the wards back in those days, and I was actually asked by a cross-section of the community by some fairly influential people as to whether I'd like to stand, and took it home to my wife and family, and they decided that it was probably a good time to do it, and so that's how I started to get in there, and certainly it was a great thing.
The reason I nominated to be on council at the time, I had some concerns around footpaths and cat numbers, so I decided it was a really good opportunity to try and join the council and be a part of the solution.
Well, certainly an understanding of how it worked. It's not as easy as you think, and I got a lot of satisfaction out of being a councillor.
It is frustrating, but it is most rewarding. And I found out that local government and also my colleagues were able to help me and give me skills in financial development, as well as assessing a problem or an argument.
Well, I think just the finding out how local government works, that it's not just about going in there and getting what you want to have done. You have to work as a team.
Being an elected member is the most interesting chapter of my life so far. I really enjoyed the process of having 8 people around a table and understanding it wasn't just about me, and that I'd have to get all 8 people to understand my issues and be passionate about it the same way I was passionate about it. You make really good friendships from that if you choose to do it that way, but it is a really, really awesome time.
I think one of the beauties of local government is our ability to get things done. It gives me tremendous satisfaction to be able to work at a strategic level and decide a direction with the assistance and support of community, and then to follow a project through right from the stages of development through to delivering it on the ground.
Working in local government's a great job because it gives you exposure to a whole facet of not only your own community, the things that are going on in the state. The federal politics affects you because it's the grant funding that can come available and how you can best utilise that for your local community to get things done, so that you can take some of the long-term projects and bring them forward by working with the federal and the state governments. And look, it's the ability to be able to have local decision making about the things that affect your community. So it's about local communities working together, working with Rotary and Lions and those sort of groups, that they have projects that they think that can promote their towns, their communities, that we can work together and have a better whole from those parts working together.
They've got to listen, they've got to work hard, and they've got to be a team player. Those 3 things.
Enthusiasm, hard work and time.
To listen to other councillors or to anyone and everyone actually, and also work as a team. If you work with others, they'll then support you later on to get things done as well.
Someone who is passionate to serve their community, someone who is willing to see things through right to the end and persist. Someone who is willing to negotiate and understand it's not just about their own understanding, that they have to be able to help others understand and see things from their point of view, and negotiate and lift up and encourage others to see things from their perspective, and also see others' perspectives on matters.
I think a successful elected member needs to have passion and sheer grit and determination. Their investment in the work of council needs to come from the heart of their interest in the benefit of their communities. They're all community members in their own right, and to be successful on council, I believe the commitment stems from that passion.
Look, I think the good characteristics of a good councillor is similar to what makes the good characteristics of people in general. It's the ability to not only ask questions but being able to be a good listener, taking into account other people's points of view, that your point of view is one point of view, but to get a good answer for everybody in the community is about sometimes making a compromise, and that you might get 80% of what you want, maybe not 100%, and sometimes you might get 100%, sometimes you mightn't be able to get any. So it's about realising that it's really local democracy working, and that you can represent the community and represent the community well and get things done.
Well, it would have to be the Loxton East Terrace History Boards. I'd been to Spain and saw some boards in Spain, and that was in 2012, and it took 8 years from then to get it through council, with a lot of hard work from me, supported by others, but that was by far the most satisfying part of my job on council.
Many projects, individual ones was skate park, centenary feature, but I think the most significant one was working with Tom Avery, who was a project manager then, on drought proofing Loxton.
The footpaths did improve. I was a young mother at the time and I was sick of pushing my pusher along bumpy roads. Also, I was around when our recycling was implemented, and that was so exciting to see a regional community finally get access to recycling facilities and understand the massive costs and everything that's involved in that.
I think it's hard to quantify some of the really good things that have been happening just down to one. The Waikerie Riverfront and the development there has been a really big major project, and we've been able to bring together funding from a range of sources to spend a lot of money down there, and the results and the increase in the amenity and for tourists and everyone as well has been really good. There's been the glamping tents into the Loxton Caravan Park that's improved the amenity there. It's what we've done at the riverfront, but we've also done resealing Taplin Road, so that's good. That's a new service that, you know, it's probably been 40 or 50 years in the making that we've been able to deliver.
In my earlier days, by working with the Berry Barmah Council, we got the Berry Bridge, and nobody thought that would ever happen, but that was a collaborative effort by two councils plus state government, and that certainly opened up the region north to south, which was fantastic. But the projects we have within our whole council area on riverfronts to make those much better for visitors to come and visit, with tourists, and also with our local people as well. And of course our sporting facilities is another thing that we're certainly rated very, very high, and certainly been very proud of some of the facilities that we've got in our region.
I didn't like the fact that we all wore blazer jackets and that we were issued scarves, and being a younger generation person, it didn't really fit my style, and so I had a lot of fun with that scarf on many occasions, which may or may not have frustrated my fellow elected members, but I was hoping it was fun.
One of the funniest things that struck me was that an elderly councillor in my early days sitting across from me, and after lunch, because we used to have full day meetings, last all day, and of course had a good lunch, and starting to drowse off, and every minute I was waiting for either a loud snore or him falling off the chair, and I was trying to get the attention of the person, councillor sitting next to him, to give him a nudge, but anyhow, one of the others burst out laughing, and this person woke up and wanted to know what was funny, so I thought that was certainly quite funny at the time.
In the interest of keeping councillors connected to some of the work that we do and some of the achievements made, we do an annual road review where we pile all of our councillors onto a bus and do a road tour. And I did have a rather humorous event one year where we blew a tyre somewhere in the northern outback of South Australia, and it was truly all hands on deck that day. It took both the works coordinator and myself, along with 3 of the councillors, to work out how to change a tyre on a Mercedes bus, which seemingly was simple, although it proved not to be. Another challenge, the technology advances in local government can happen a little bit slow. With the onset of COVID, that speared us down that road quite quickly, and with the onset of electronic meetings via Zoom or Teams, we had some fantastic examples of close-up shots up elected members' noses. We had some great shots of the insides of portfolios and folders around iPads, not to mention microphones turned off, people having their lunch whilst attending the meeting, even one occasion of an elected member sitting back and having a smoke at one stage.
Do it. You will not regret it. You will learn so more than you can ever imagine, and you will grow in yourself immensely.
I would say don't be one-trick pony. You must have an open mind, and you must form liaisons. It's important. You won't get anywhere if you haven't got liaisons, and I said earlier, be a team player.
Be prepared to listen, be prepared to act, use your enthusiasm and also use your drive to develop a council that's responsible in both regional and also in the local areas.
I think it's important that when you run for council you have more than a single agenda. I've worked with a lot of councillors in the past who have run for council determined to get one thing done, and ultimately, whether or not you're successful in achieving that, it can detract from your satisfaction and your effectiveness on council longer term. Because once you've achieved it, then what next? You need to have a holistic view when it comes to the community and what you want to achieve. And as I said before, that passion, that desire to get things done, both from an outcome for others, but also being part of your community, you stand to benefit as a beneficiary as well.
You're not on your own. There's people that have been there before that can support you. There's the administration that will help you out with some of the legal things that you need to get your head around. There's training that's provided. There's mandatory training to help you out with some of the governance things. So you want to be able to feel free to get into local government and know that you'll be supported. My advice would be, if you're thinking of being involved in local government, do more than think about it, take the action, nominate and get involved.